Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coach Shawn Witten Show. I'm Stacy Street along with my partner Tony Briggs. Tonight we have the playoff version of the Coach Shawn Witten Show for Week 1 of the 2022 TSSAA playoff games, as the Elizabethton Cyclones have a home playoff game against Knox Carter. Coach, we'll start off talking about the big win last Thursday night. Seems a long time ago now, but the big win that the Cyclones had, final regular season game at home against the Seymour team. Tell us what you think about that performance.
Well, it's just really good to finish up the regular season strong. Just go out and execute offensively. You know, we didn't get a lot of plays to make defensively, but it's good to see our offense kind of execute. Really wanted to reward the seniors for how hard they've worked, cap off a great regular season, keep the momentum going, and our guys did that Thursday night.
You know, you got a lot of help by the bad snaps by Seymour, but as far as the offense goes and your defense for that matter, you really played a perfect game Friday night, did you not?
Well, we did. We just continue to spread the ball around and keep guys in a groove. You know, we just, each week we're trying to insert a game plan, based off, what we get defensively, and we try to, get everybody a couple touches there, and obviously keep Nate going. He's the key to our offense there, and then keep Dalton in the rhythm throwing the ball. So, we wanted to get, keep expanding in the playbook, horizontally, vertically, just try to, mix in some different looks, and I thought our guys did a good job executing that. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of looks defensively, but I thought special teams did a great job. I thought, offense just is critical for us to stay in the rhythm, especially for our offensive line.
Tony and I talked about it a little bit, the place where you're at from Week 1 against Science Hill to the final game, in Game 9 against Seymour. Just talk a little bit. I know what we see. How does it look for you as a coach, the progress that they've made, and how important it is that you don't want to peak in Week 1, you want to peak in Week 9 and 10 to go into the playoffs? How important is that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's just credit to our group. We've had to take a step back, find out the pieces of where guys need to be, and then, what do we got to do to get those guys the ball? And so, we've things that have been successful in the past, just didn't work for us early, so we just had to go back to the drawing board of, what can we do, and how versatile could we be? And so, we just a lot of time watching film and just looking at different playbooks of what we could do. So, just really, the biggest thing on that is, we got to keep it simple for our offensive line, blocking schemes, pass protection, and then, how much our skilled guys can get in a groove of, who plays where, who does what, not trying to overdo it. Because our skill group, a lot of those guys, go back from the secondary to the offense. So, they got both sides of playbooks on top of there. So it's just, taking it week by week and day by day, and then slowly, the guys have done a great job of just trying to memorize the playbook each week, they expanding it at times. And then, as coaches, when it's too much, and when can you overdo it? And so we've been, just really hammering them hard early in the week and just continue to rep it. And by Friday, we're good to go.
You spoke last week that you thought this team would be hungry because they couldn't play a week. They come out, they were focused, they jumped on Seymour early, and we're going back to that first play. You kept saying we're going to score. Now you got run down. Did you rev him a little bit on that so far?
Yeah, I told him we were scoring the first plays unless he got caught from behind. But, I think it's just, good teams show sign of going out there and handling those games the way you're supposed to. And I know they gave us a lot of things defensively there, but offensively, it's just important for us to stay in a rhythm, continue to execute. We continue to splash in a few wrinkles here and there. And, just being able to run the football, throw it in critical situations, be able to execute. Here lately, we haven't been able to have the sustained drives. We've been scoring quick, so we've been working this week on putting drives together, situational football, third and long, third and short, second and short, substitution personnels. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to see the guys make plays. You build a ton of confidence, and it's just exciting to see us head into tonight's game. We're as good as we're at the best we've been all year in all three phases. Just credit our guys that we've come to this point. Playoffs, regular season's one thing, playoffs is another, and we've done everything we've had to do to get ourselves playing the best football at the right time.
Usually, typically, when you play a team that's lesser and have that showing on the field, as an opponent, a lot of times you get sloppy with them. Maybe 10 years ago, 11 years ago, this team, the Cyclone, may have dropped it just a little bit. It seemed like this team had that killer instinct that you've instilled, and even though how bad they was playing, we was going to play our game up to our standard, and it wasn't going to drop.
Well, I think it's a credit to our guys that have worked. We worked 2 weeks to play that Thursday night game. And obviously we didn't get the looks we wanted defensively, but we're swarming the football. We had hands on the tip passes. Guys were doing a great job of getting tackles, and it's just credit our guys continue to work, continue to grow, continue to develop, and it just shows signs that we put what's in behind us in the past, and we're just looking for the next day and the next opportunity. Kind of staying in the moment, and our guys have done a great job with that. Credit our group. Just head down, going to work every day. We had great work over fall break, and we learned a lot about ourselves in the Ray County game, the Anderson County game. So each week, we've had something to kind of build a foundation off of hey, these are the things we saw against Anderson County that we need to do. Here's where we won against Ray County in a tough game. So we use a combination of both of those game plans there that have really helped us kind of finish strong.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the recap of last week's Victoria Senior Night. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's first round of the TSSAA 4A playoff as last year's opponents, Carter Hornets, come back to Citizen Bank Stadium. We'll be back after these words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Coach Shawn Witten. So, Coach, you've got a Hornets team coming in that, as we was talking earlier, very similar pass. They started 0-3. We started 0-3. They won 6 of the last 7. We won 5 of the last 6. Both of us lost to Anderson County. We lost week 6. They lost in week 7. They're kind of a scary team, are they not?
Well, it's a lot of similarities, a style of football play for both of us. I mean, I think we've got, just an opportunity to, the schedule's similar, the wins and losses, the points scored are very similar. But, here's a team where, they're a year older. They're more experienced. It's a aggressive style football team on defense. They're kind of known for what they do offensively. It all starts with them, with their quarterback. There's a Mr. Football finalist, Wilson, who he's a leading rusher, and he's almost 38 passing attempts a game. Got dynamic playmakers on the offensive side of the football. And, just aggressive style of defense that takes a lot of chances, that takes a lot of risk. The only common opponent, like you mentioned, is Anderson County. And, it's definitely not your common first-round opponent. It's, another rematch. It feel like, it's come full circle a little bit. They've waited a whole year. They kind of wanted this game back for another first-round matchup.
You look at their weapon. You mentioned Wilson. They also got a kid out there on the end, Harper, number 0. He's electric every time he touches the ball. He was a lot like a mix of Jirai and Nate combo, but he can beat you at any time. Well,
they got 2 weapons. They got Blankenship, number 1, that's a slot receiver inside. It's really tall, work the middle of the field, and then they got Harper that move him around. Jet sweep screens. These guys do it all from an offensive standpoint, from a passing, jet sweeps, screens, lineman screens, shovel passes, and, Harper, for them, has the ability to go deep and hit you the home run threat. The key is Wilson's just a really good quarterback. He's football IQ, he's smart, he's savvy. A lot of what they do is built around what he can do. He's also very good at running the ball, scrambling. He can hit any route on the field at any spot. He's very accurate, and he, being a senior, he's been a very good football player and been very impressive on film to watch.
Offensively, we'll speak on the offensive side. They're very up-tempo, very fast. Sometimes they go faster than others. How do you prepare as far as getting the play signal in, getting everybody in motion, trying to substitute? How do you prepare this week to go against this high-octane, speed-up offense?
Well, I think it's important for number one, you try to disguise and give the quarterback different looks, but you got to be at the right place when the ball's being snapped. And so, whether you're playing man or zone, 3-man front, 4-man front, you just got to do a really good job of just making sure the communication's on point, red zone area, backed up, if corner's got help or inside, who's taking the middle of the field. There's just a lot of you got to kind of make sure you're communicating, by formation, or is it by the receiver splits, or, you get caught up in finding out where Harper is. Is he to the boundary, to the field? So you just kind of, day by day, kind of break it down and install it as you go along, and try to take, some of the things that they've been very successful on. The biggest thing, obviously, is you got to take away the deep ball. The post, the corner routes, the smoke routes, the quick screen and goes. You obviously don't want to let them, hit the deep ball early, but just, how can you create pass rush lanes? How can you create blitzes? Can you blitzes get there to throw them off the timing? And so there's a lot of different ways you go about, trying to get your defense ready for the week. But it's been challenging. There's a lot of we've had to prepare for, and when you've almost got 3,000 yards as a quarterback, there's a lot you do. And then also you sprinkle in run game. You got running back screens, running back shovel passes, 2-back runs. So there's a lot to kind of go at, and that's why they're a really good team, and we're going to have our hands full today.
Final question before I hand it to Stacy. Mason Ball coming back. How do you think he's going to affect the game plan as far as offensively and defensively? How do you?
Well, the key is with the offense they do, Tony, is you got to be able to protect the Q. And so, having a guy like Mason gives us another pass rusher. It gives us another big body. Who are they going to double team? Where are they going to slide the protection? Are they going to have to use the running back in protection? If they do that, they can't get him out on pass routes. That's been the key for people that have been able to beat them and to be able to keep them low scoring, is they've made Wilson have to hold on the ball. They've made the running back have to stay in and protect. So they've not been able to get 5 receivers out on a lot of their pass installation. And so a guy like Mason, one, he's going to provide us a spark. He's worked his tail off to get back. He stayed in shape. He's been at all of our weight room sessions. But just the ability for him to come off the edge, if he's an inside player too. Mason's versatile where he can stand up and he can also put his hand on the ground. And, when he gets 15 and 20 snaps, I think he can be an impact player for us in tonight's game.
Let's pick up right there. So when Ball comes back this weekend, you're going to put him on the line. You're not going to put him back there as a linebacker, at outside linebacker. You're going to put him on the line?
Well, I think he can be a disruptor down there. I think it's probably where he's most, coming back and not playing in about 5 or 6 games. It's probably where he's most comfortable, and just, kind of turn him loose and let him be a disruptor. I think that, just pass routes, opportunities there, just go get the quarterback, do a great job of just, winning your one-on-one battles, try to create a spark. The biggest thing we've done, we've actually missed out on over this year is, Trent Taylor used to get his hands on the ball all the time for the inside pass rush, tip passes, whether quarterback sacks or hurries or knocking the quarterback off his spot. A lot of what they do, Stacy, is just timing. If you can disrupt that timing for a lot of quarterbacks, it's like, the good ones, if they stand on that spot all day long, they're going to kill you. You got to be able to move it. So, a guy like him, with his versatility, and some different stunt packages. The thing with Mason is if they can get in a rhythm and they start throwing it and they abandon the run, he can rush from an inside tackle spot or a defensive end spot.
I don't want to spend too much time on it, but this quarterback is that good. And their running game is a lot like ours used to be. It's really just a short pass or a shuttle pass or a pitch. Let's talk a little bit about your linebackers. for me, other than the defensive line, and our defense has been stout since week one, but the linebacker play has been so much better. You move Williams outside, you got Shankles in the middle, kind of doing that, and you're kind of sprinkling other players in at the wheel. Talk about that a little bit, how much they have improved and better coverage, pass and run.
Well, I think the growth of our football team has really come from the linebacker play, especially coming back from Anderson County. You know, they played so well stopping the run and playing the pass, and that's about as high octane offense as there is. But, you know, the next week we played, you know, Volunteer. The next week we played, you know, other teams just to give us the good looks of just staying in the rhythm. We used the off week, you know, as you know, continue to work on the areas, you know, the pass drops. Somebody's got to spy the cue. You know, if you go to man a little bit, you know, who's got to take the running back out of the backfield. So, and then also the biggest thing comes from, you know, a lot of times when you install blitzes, you got to have linebackers that understand how to blitz, you know. And so when you're running twists and stunts and outside pressures, you know, you got to be able to get there. And so we've just grown tremendously at the linebacker position. Especially at the inside positions between Shankles and Holzer, that, you know, where we got to be most effective is, you know, if they abandon the run early, you know, then we can drop into coverage. You know, we've just done a great job of that. And then with Blankenship, he really likes to try to attack the middle of the field. You know, when you play Anderson County and these good passing teams, they're going to run shallows and high digs and posts and, you know, running back, check down routes. And so, you know, how far can you drop to where there's enough space to be able to spy the Q and R.
Let's flip on the other side of the ball. You talked, when you first began talking about Knox Carter, how aggressive they are on defense. They take as many chances as you will see. They remind me a lot of, we didn't see it from Anderson County this year, but we remember a couple of years ago how aggressive they were on defense. And they take gambles. What are you looking for to exploit those?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you know, their front seven is probably as athletic as we faced, just from size and the bodies there. You know, they do a great job of just moving the inside pieces around where you just really don't know who's coming and who's blitzing. They do a great job of disguising it. A lot of that is because they pin their ears back because they want to get that offensive ball back so they can go score. So, you know, it's an older bunch. They're mature. Each week you see different game plans from, you know, the different films that you watch. But it's a very tough group to go against, and they're going to make it very difficult for us today. So just, you know, one, we got to take care of the football. Two, you know, we got to make sure we minimize our offensive penalties. You know, we got to win the down and distance. And three, you know, we just got to, when we decide to throw it, we got to do a good job of making sure that our timing's there and that we're not holding on the ball as much, and we got to protect Dalton when we have the opportunity to throw.
Lastly, what's the attitude of the team this week? How's practice been? I mean, you know, that was a spanking Thursday night, and a lot of people got to play, and you got on a big note. But what's the attitude as they realize now it all counts now? You go home.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, Stacy, is, you know, what I've tried to tell our guys is you know, when you get this time in football, you can't flinch. You know, I think they've done all that we've asked them to do. We have rebounded. You know, we have come alive. We have gained as much confidence as we can. I don't know if we could be as high as we've ever been, you know, after the slow start that we have. And we've had different people step up. And so, I mean, I think we're healthy. Our confidence is high. We're feeling good. I think our guys know, you know, we've got to play. We've got to play 4 quarters. And, you know, we've been in enough big games to realize that you can't flinch. You know, make a mistake, you got to make it right. You know, we got to execute on offense especially. So just, I'm proud of the guys and where we got to this point. You know, they've done all we can ask for, and we just got to go lay it on the line. You know, the men's big 3 keys, I think, is just one, we got to play together. You know, we got to focus on ourselves a lot of times more than just the opponent. You know, here's what they do, but we got to focus on we got to get ourselves right. You know, and then when we talk about playing hard, is this effort. Our effort's got to be there tonight. You know, just swarming the football, pushing the pile by the linemen. When we fight for extra yards at the running back position, we got to take care of the football and then play smart. You know, we've had a slogan around here for years, if we're going to win this game, we got to win with our brain. We got to know, you know, the special teams. We got to know just the punt formations, and if they're going for two, onside kicks, just fourth down plays. You know, we've got to make sure that, you know, we're smart and sound in those areas.
Coach, as always, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the Coach Shawn Witten Show this week as the Cyclones prepare for a big first-round opponent facing the Knox Carter Hornets tonight in round one here at Citizens Bank Stadium in Elizabeth. Look forward to doing that. Coach Witten, thank you very much. We're going to send this back to the station for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, then Tony and I will have our pregame. Kickoffs at 7 o'clock tonight, and Tony and I will have that for you as the Cyclones start season number 2 as they look to be victorious tonight here on WBEJ Radio.